Good morning, Angela.
Hi, Beverly.
You know, when people come in and ask for a shrub that blooms, not only is evergreen, but blooms year round, my first response is a rose. But they get this absolute look of terror on their face when you mention the word rose.
Yeah, they think that they're hard to grow or that they're fussy.
Right.
And they're really not. They're one of the easiest things to grow. If you
Well-
get the right selection, you put them in the ground and
Well, they survive our heat. They love our heat.
Right.
But on the other side, they survive the 5-degree temperatures
Yes,
as
they do.
well. They came right through like champs. In
Right.
fact, we sold more roses that year than we ever have because people saw how sturdy they were.
Right. They don't require any protection of any kind.
No.
In fact, often after we have those really hard winters, they have a wonderful spring. They did this year for sure.
Yeah, and in the fall and the winter when the weather's cooler, their blooms are magnificent.
Yes.
And they're really nonstop.
They are nonstop. I originally heard we get about 11 months out of bloom. I say we get flushes all year long.
I agree. They're just super easy to grow. And the key, as with any other shrub, is buy a rose that fits the space.
Absolutely.
Don't try to get a Peggy Martin 40-foot climber on an 8-foot trellis.
Yeah, and thankfully roses do come in all sorts of
Exactly.
sizes and really all kind of growth habits too.
Right.
Because we have those that aren't really climbers, but they're very large shrubs. They have a tendency to grow up in cascade, which by the way is a beautiful look. But we also have very small roses that will suit you as a border
Like
or
the
as a
drips.
mass planting.
Yep. But roses need friends, right?
They do. A queen needs her court.
So there are so many choices that benefit the rose itself. I was walking around with the cart this morning and I ran out of cart space way before I ran out of plants because you know they're all my favorites. So you want to talk a little bit about some of these court for the roses?
We really do. And maybe sort of some of the things that qualify for that so you'll know how to choose the things that they really like in their
Perfect.
gardens. So you want something that is going to complement the rose. So for instance, we want to choose colors that will complement the color of the rose. We want to choose something that grows to the right height for the type of rose
Right.
that you choose. If you need a ground cover around your rose, then there are selections for that. A lot of the tall roses have a tendency to get bare legs. And so
Right.
we want things that kind of cover the bare legs.
Right.
So there are those kind of things. And then we want to choose things that don't share diseases with roses either. That keeps
Very
everything
important.
very easy. And roses can attract pollinators, and so we also want other plants that can attract pollinators to the garden, just for their simple beauty and for the health of the environment. For us, things like this. If you do have a climbing rose, or you want to plant something behind a shrub rose, Clematis is a great choice. Clematis, we go through that discussion. Again, these do very, very well. They will trail up through a rose if you want them to have that look, and it really is a very pretty, elegant look. Or you can put them on a trellis behind a rose to kind of show everything off.
Well, and key to the success with this vine is root in the shade,
Yes.
vine in the sun,
Right.
which the rose would provide for it. And it's not too dense because we don't want to block airflow as well.
Right, that's correct. And then these are winter dormant, so you have a little bit of an opportunity to do some training and
Right.
reshaping during the winter time. Pretty much there's an entire very large range of perennials that will go with them. For me, it's always a matter of just choosing colors, changes in texture, foliage colors and texture that go along with them.
Right. So one of the best companions are herbs.
Definitely.
And, you can do the ground cover thymes, you can do the oregano, the trailing rosemary. And not only does that offer you fragrance, pollinators, but it's weed suppression.
Very muchly weed suppression because they grow very tight, low to the ground. They do a very good job. And they're shallow rooted, so there's no, interference with your rose in any way. And they are all, most of them are consistent bloomers as well.
And I love, of course, all the perennials that offer the fragrance. But bulbs.
Yes.
Bulbs are great companions because that's an area that you don't often dig.
That's
and a
true.
lot of times when our bulbs are dormant, we forget where they're planted.
We do.
And inadvertently dig them up. So the rain lilies and the alliums and the crinums, they're perfect.
Crinums
Especially
are a
this
beautiful
guy.
companion. Yes,
I
they are.
love this
Yes.
little minahuni, this little dwarf
Yes.
crinum.
And talk about a color complement.
Right.
For any of your pink or yellow roses, this is a perfect choice. Crinums are almost a natural companion for roses here. They really are very good companions because we do not have to dig and separate and transplant crinums often. In fact, we can leave them for years without pretty much any attention at all. The one thing with bulbs that you may want to eventually lift and separate, or to get them spread across your garden, is to plant about 12 to 18 inches away from the rose. Roses have a shallow, kind of a matted root system, so that way when you do need to dig, it won't disturb them at all. And then in addition to all of these, there is a wealth of annuals that you can plant around them. Again, they're shallow rooted, don't interrupt. You can kind of play with colors every year. You can change that color out through the seasons. There's really no limit, but definitely don't think of your roses as just a standalone in the garden. Give her companions that set her off.
It's a great landscape plant.
It is.
Yes. So I'm standing here with one of my favorites, Mrs. Dudley Cross. And then I have another one of my favorites, Duchère, right behind her. So right now what you can see in the garden is I've had a rain lily that just finished blooming, but I left it here so you could see all the seeds that this drops. So I will end up with a carpet of them. And you forget that you have them. And then you'll walk outside one day and all these beautiful little faces are just in full bloom. I have dianthus that had made it through the winter, and now it's the blueberry Diana, and then my Nana coreopsis. But I wanted to add a little bit more oomph to this. So I think I'm going to do this trailing Artemisia, which is a kind of a newer variety that came out last year. So it doesn't get any higher than this.
That's
so I feel
wonderful.
like it'll be great underneath the rose to kind of brighten up the area. And then along my rocky edge, I want to plant some thyme.
Yeah, thyme is wonderful because it will trail, as you say, loves to kind of be around the borders of your plant. And that Artemisia, that silvery foliage is the perfect offset for the roses.
Yeah, so this is what I've got, and I'm going to get these in the ground.
Sounds good to me.
So those of you that are familiar with Artemisia, this is a new variety called Silver Bullet. So this is its height, but it's going to grow like a ground cover. And typically, Artemisia wants full sun. Well, this is a little bit shady now in the morning, but by noon, this is full sun all afternoon, which equates to full sun in the Gulf Coast garden.
It does. The American Horticultural Society describes full sun as 6 to 8 hours, and the Gulf Coast gets far more than that.
You always want to massage your root ball, let them know they're loose and ready to go.
Yep. Keep them from playing the roundy round.
Yes. This is such a pretty texture. I just love this. So lacy. Makes a great spiller in a container, full sun container. Look how that just brightens up that shady spot.
Yep.
Now I'm going to plant my thyme along this little bit of a rocky edge here. Don't you love this tool?
Mm-hmm.
Dead soil. You almost don't need a tool. Oh, thank you, ma'am. And this is just the old English garden thyme. So, squeezed in between the dianthus here, the rain lily, the coreopsis, Mrs. Dudley Cross. It's going to be beautiful.
It is a beautiful combination. I can't wait to see when they're filled out.